What if the vast, seemingly barren deserts of the UAE were actually the key to solving some of the world's most pressing challenges? Imagine a place where intense heat, water scarcity, and fragile soil are not seen as obstacles, but as opportunities to innovate, adapt, and thrive. In 2026, the UAE is proving that the desert is far more than just a challenge to overcome. It's a resource to harness, a playground for cutting-edge green technologies and sustainable agriculture that could change the future of how we live on this planet. How can a country known for its skyscrapers, luxury resorts, and oil wealth transform its harsh desert landscape into an ecosystem of food security, climate resilience, and green innovation? And more importantly, what does this mean for the future of agriculture in some of the most arid regions of the world? Over 90% of the country's land is desert, a dry and unforgiving environment shaped by intense heat, little rainfall, and limited arable soil. Yet, despite these challenges, the UAE is not only surviving in the desert but actively transforming it. Through innovative technologies, sustainable agriculture, and ambitious desert greening programs, the UAE has set its sights on turning its desert into an ecosystem of resilience. This is not just about making the desert greener or farming in impossible conditions. It's about future-proofing the country and ensuring food security, climate resilience, and sustainable development in the face of global challenges. Today, we will take a closer look at how the UAE is transforming its desert, both environmentally and economically, through groundbreaking strategies and technologies. Why the desert matters. The UAE's desert is key to its future. Deserts are often seen as inhospitable, barren places. However, for the UAE, the desert is much more than a landscape. It is a critical resource. The challenges faced by desert nations are clear: water scarcity, land degradation, heat stress, and food insecurity. These issues are growing due to the global climate crisis, putting pressure on the UAE to find sustainable ways to combat desertification and secure its future. While the UAE's wealth was built on oil, it knows that the future of the country does not lie solely in fossil fuels. As the world transitions to clean energy and global oil prices fluctuate, the UAE's leaders have recognized that agriculture, green energy, and climate adaptation are essential to creating a resilient economy. The UAE has made desert greening a cornerstone of its national strategy. By investing in the greening of its desert, the country is developing solutions that can protect its ecosystem, preserve biodiversity, and improve food security. The UAE is also setting an example for other desert nations, showing how sustainable agriculture and desert restoration are not only possible, but vital for long-term success. Desert greening and land rehabilitation. One of the most critical issues in the UAE's desert landscape is desertification, the process by which fertile land turns into desert due to climate change, unsustainable agriculture, and human activity. Desertification can cause soil erosion, loss of plant life, and a dramatic decline in biodiversity. The UAE has taken a strategic approach to combating desertification through national initiatives aimed at restoring degraded land and reintroducing native vegetation. The UAE government's national strategy to combat desertification focuses on rehabilitating degraded lands, using techniques like soil restoration, erosion control, and water management. Planting native and drought-resistant species, such as the date palm, acacia, and cedar trees. These species help restore the soil, prevent erosion, and provide shade in a hot desert environment. Implementing sustainable agricultural practices to reduce water consumption and improve soil quality. Establishing eco-friendly farming techniques, such as agroforestry, where trees and plants work together to improve land productivity and maintain soil health. Through this approach, the UAE is not only working to reverse desertification, but also creating sustainable habitats for native wildlife and supporting climate resilience in the desert. The Dubai Desert Conservation Reserve, DDCR, for example, serves as both a protected ecosystem and a research center for desert restoration. Afforestation projects, greening the desert. While the idea of planting trees in the desert might sound far-fetched, the UAE has embraced afforestation as a key strategy to combat desertification and create more green spaces in the desert. One of the most ambitious plans for desert greening comes from Dubai's Green Agenda 2030. This initiative aims to increase green cover in urban and desert areas, helping reduce urban heat islands, improve air quality, and create more livable spaces. As part of this plan, Dubai has undertaken large-scale afforestation projects, planting thousands of native trees in urban areas, along highways, and in desert spaces to restore natural habitats. Trees like the acacia and goff are being planted because they can survive in the harsh desert environment with minimal water. Tree planting and green corridors. Green corridors are being built throughout the UAE, where trees and plants create shelter belts that reduce the impact of wind erosion and help cool urban areas. Additionally, shade trees are planted in public spaces and commercial areas to reduce energy consumption by cooling the environment. Water management. Water is a scarce commodity in the desert, and agriculture cannot thrive without efficient water use. The UAE is investing heavily in innovative water management technologies to support its greening and agricultural goals. Desalination and water recycling. As part of its strategy, the UAE relies on desalinated water, which is produced by converting seawater into fresh water. The UAE has become one of the world leaders in desalination, with plants like the Al Tawila desalination plant providing millions of liters of drinking water each day. But desalination alone is not enough to ensure water security. The UAE has also embraced water recycling and wastewater treatment. Many wastewater treatment plants now recycle water for use in irrigating desert farms, public parks, and green spaces. Drip irrigation and smart irrigation systems. To conserve water in agriculture, the UAE has adopted drip irrigation systems, a technique that delivers water directly to the plant roots, ensuring minimal water loss. The UAE National Water Strategy 2036 focuses on increasing water efficiency through advanced irrigation techniques and smart water management systems that use sensors to monitor soil moisture and adjust watering schedules accordingly. Technological innovation in agriculture. The UAE is not just relying on traditional agricultural techniques, it is embracing cutting-edge technology to grow food in the desert. By using technology, the country is changing how food is grown in extreme climates, helping to ensure food security and reduce reliance on imports. Hydroponics and vertical farming. The UAE has become a global leader in hydroponics and vertical farming. These soil-free growing methods use less water and space compared to traditional farming. The country's vertical farms are revolutionizing desert agriculture by growing leafy greens, herbs, and tomatoes in climate-controlled environments. One of the most notable examples is Pure Harvest Smart Farms, a company using advanced hydroponic techniques to produce high-quality vegetables in the desert using minimal water. Aeroponics, the future of farming. In addition to hydroponics, the UAE is also investing in aeroponics, a method where plants are grown in air with their roots suspended in the air and misted with nutrients. This farming method uses even less water and energy compared to traditional systems. Farmbox, a UAE-based startup, uses aeroponic technology to grow crops like herbs, lettuce, and cherry tomatoes in a fully automated environment that requires no soil and minimal water. Automated greenhouses and smart farming technologies. The UAE is also embracing automated farming systems, where robots and AI help plant, maintain, and harvest crops. This smart farming approach uses AI to predict weather patterns, detect pests, and optimize irrigation. Agri-tech startups like FarmTech UAE are developing automated greenhouses that allow for year-round farming, regardless of the season, without depleting natural resources. Sustainable agriculture and food security. Food security is a major concern for the UAE, as the country imports about 80–90% of its food. With the climate crisis threatening global food production and supply chains, the UAE is focused on becoming more self-sufficient in food production. National Food Security Strategy 2051. The National Food Security Strategy 2051 aims to increase local food production and reduce the country's reliance on imports. It encourages innovation in agriculture, local farming practices, and the use of sustainable technologies to grow more food within the UAE. By investing in desert farming, the country is improving its agricultural capabilities and boosting local production, ensuring that it can provide its citizens with nutritious food without being dependent on external sources. Protecting desert wildlife and biodiversity. The UAE's desert greening efforts aren't just about farming and agriculture, they also focus on preserving native wildlife and biodiversity. The UAE is home to a number of species that have adapted to life in the desert, and these species are integral to the ecosystem's health. Desert reserves and conservation. The Dubai Desert Conservation Reserve is one example of the UAE's commitment to protecting desert ecosystems. This reserve, which covers about 5% of Dubai's land area, is dedicated to conserving the desert's native species, including the Arabian oryx, sand gazelles, and desert foxes. The reserve's efforts are not just focused on protecting wildlife, they also support research on desert ecology and sustainable land management. Through these conservation initiatives, the UAE is ensuring that its desert landscapes are not only greened, but also preserved for future generations. Conclusion: the future of the UAE's desert. The UAE is leading the way in transforming its desert environment into a model for sustainability, food security, and climate resilience. From desert greening projects and afforestation to innovative water management, sustainable agriculture, and cutting-edge farming technologies, the UAE is proving that even the harshest landscapes can be transformed with vision, technology, and dedication. By reimagining its desert as a resource rather than a challenge, the UAE is securing its future in a changing world. Its efforts are setting a global example, showing how desert countries can thrive by using innovation to tackle climate change and sustainability challenges. Through this visionary approach, the UAE is building a green, sustainable future that not only supports its own people, but provides valuable solutions to the rest of the world. The UAE's desert is no longer just a vast, empty landscape. It is the heart of the country's future. And as the world faces increasing environmental challenges, the UAE's desert may hold the key to solving some of humanity's most pressing issues.